Thank you for joining us once again. By now you know what I think about researching projects I'd like to invest in. I personally find it very important to do thorough research. That's why we had our first look at the white paper in episode 10. In episode 13, we had a look at two other parts of the white paper, the roadmap and the financials. Today I'd like to take a look at the Bistroo team with you. Will you join us? A project may be beautifully described in the white paper, but at the end of the day, it's the people behind the idea of the project who will have to make this into a reality, which is why it's a good idea to put some time into researching the team behind the project. I usually align this with the concept in question, meaning that I believe that a good team already has experience in the industry in which they mean to operate. Just like before, we'll be taking a look at the white paper of Bistroo, the project example I'd like to analyze with you on the basis of a number of videos and research templates, made available free of charge by Future Finance. Again, you can download these documents from our website for free. If we look at the table of content of the white paper, we can see that the team isn't mentioned separately. However, on page 10, we see that the team breakdown is mentioned as a part of the management summary. There are 3 members of the team who belong to the so-called C-suite. C-suite, or C-level, is a common term that describes a cluster of the company's top senior executives. C-suite gets its name from the titles of top senior executives, which usually start with the letter C for chief, such as Chief Executive Officer, CEO, Chief Financial Officer, CFO, Chief Operating Officer, COO, and Chief Informational Officer, CIO. At Bistroo, we can see that there are 3 people in the C-suite, namely Bas Roos as Chief Executive Officer, Bob Domen as Chief Technical Officer, and Bas Gelen as Chief Marketing Officer. There are even links to their LinkedIn profiles. On the LinkedIn profile of Bas Roos, we can conclude that in addition to CEO of Bistroo, he is also one of the founders. I'd like to start by taking a look at Mr. Roos's educational background. After his education at Avans University of Applied Sciences in Den Bosch, he continued on to do an in-depth master's degree at the Florida International University, a strong foundation to start in the business world. He received his master's degree in 2013. After this, he worked for more than 2.5 years at Ernst & Young, a multinational professional services network, as information, technology, and risk advisor, after which he worked at Meebit, a concrete and cement producer, for almost 2 years as continuous improvement manager. It's interesting to read that since November 2017, Mr. Roos has been involved as blockchain lead at the Weeconomics Foundation, a group that is engaged in transforming traditional organizations into sustainable digital network organizations, and therefore has a solid background in blockchain projects. Bas is also involved with Entropy, a company specialized in digital transformation services, but has stated in his LinkedIn profile that he is involved full-time with Bistroo, which now seems to be his main focus. His journey with Bistroo seems to already have started in 2019, as we can read in his profile. If we take a similar look at the LinkedIn profile of Bob Domen, we see that Mr. Domen has started a creative training at St. Lucas College as a media designer, after which he completed a bachelor's degree, just like Bas, at the Avans University in Den Bosch. In his case, a bachelor's in advanced business creation, a course that focuses on innovative entrepreneurship, also known today as business innovation. After 4 years as a teacher at St. Lucas College, Bob briefly worked as a technical lead at Bytes before continuing his career as a digital innovator at Envision, a full-service digital creation agency. Bob's strength seems to lie in innovation, something most useful at a company like Bistroo. Bas Gelen's profile shows that after completing his bachelor's degree in international business at the University of Maastricht, he completed a master's degree in strategic management at the same institution. At the moment, Mr. Gelen seems to be involved in 3 other organizations besides Bistroo. It's interesting to read that he's a consultant for more than 6 blockchain-related startups, but how much time and attention does he have left for Bistroo is an important question that immediately comes to mind. Mr. Gelen's responsibility at Bistroo is for developing the brand strategy and the further operationalization of marketing. These 3 gentlemen don't have to do it all by themselves. At the time of the release of this white paper in March 2021, 8 other people were also involved with Bistroo, in roles such as account manager, graphic designer, and developer. In addition, Bistroo currently seems to be looking for reinforcement in the area of development. On the website created for the organization behind Bistroo, we find 4 more advisors under the heading Team. Matt Lushinsky is certainly worth mentioning. Mr. Lushinsky is one of the founders of Travala. Founded in 2017, Travala.com has grown from a small startup to the world's leading blockchain-based travel agency platform, trusted by thousands of customers worldwide as their preferred online travel agency. Meaning that Mr. Lushinsky brings more than 4 years of experience in setting up a blockchain-related organization, but he's also experienced in ensuring its growth. A serious asset to Bistroo. Although announced, this advisory role is not yet on Mr. Lushinsky's LinkedIn profile. Finally, I'd like to draw your attention to the collaboration with Koninklijke Horeca Nederland, the Royal Dutch Hospitality Association. On the website of the association, attention was paid to Bistroo at the time of COVID-19, but whether they will continue to play an active role isn't mentioned in the information provided. Like I said, you can have as brilliant an idea as any, but the execution depends on the people behind the idea. Personally, based on my research so far, I have a great deal of confidence in Bistroo. Certainly a person like Matt Lushinsky, in his role as advisor, can be of great value to Bistroo's future growth development. In the next episode, we will have a look at the code development of Bistroo and their community. I'll see you then!